Estamos no ar com mais uma edição da TAURIAN Podcast, estamos na nossa 18ª edição. Queria agradecer a todos aí que estão assistindo a gente. Pedir para vocês se inscreverem no canal TAURIAN Podcast no YouTube ou seguir a gente no Instagram, TAURIAN MMA. E queria dizer a vocês aí, agradecer também a todos que deram suporte, agradecer a minha mãe Vanusa, meu pai Nivaldo, agradecer a Marciana Paiva e Susan Gleice Marim. E hoje nós temos uma convidada especial e, enfim, vocês vão gostar de conhecer essa menina, ela veio de Israel, está aqui nos Estados Unidos treinando profissionalmente na American Top Team. Hello guys, hello everybody, I'm Yuri, as always, Yuri the Immortal, undefeated fighter. And today I'm gonna bring someone special to you guys, someone that is not from the United States, someone that is from Israel. And she trains at American Top Team. She's a very, very good fighter. And she has a way bigger record than mine, but we'll see. We're gonna get to know her a little better. So today I wanna pronounce your name properly. Pronounce your name properly, because your name has a different pronunciation. It's Nili. Okay. I'll give you Nili block. How you doing?
Very good, thank you.
So I've been saying your name wrong all this time.
No, you walked in, you said Nili, correct?
Nili?
Yeah, yeah.
I told him Nili.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
Yeah. If it was with the Y, then it would be different, right?
But a small fact that not a lot of people know actually. I am American. I was born in the States.
Oh, you were born here?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
man, when they told me about you, because they told me you gotta talk to this girl. She's from Israel.
Right.
I thought you came from there.
What do you mean?
I thought you were living there. You were born there, and you came
I was
here.
raised in Israel. I'm Israeli. My culture is Israeli. I'm Jewish. But I was born in the States. And when I was about 2 years old, my parents moved to Israel out of Zionists and religion.
Okay.
And it was important to them.
Oh, okay. So
That's our home. That's our the Jews. That's the Jews' home, the Holy Land.
Okay. One of my clients is his name is Adam Newman. I don't know if you know him. He's from Israel.
I'm sure there's many Adam Newmans.
He's very famous. He dates he's married to a Hollywood star.
Okay.
Which is Rebecca Newman. She's they're actors and entrepreneurs. He's a billionaire. And I love the country. I love the culture. Maybe someday I'll go to see it.
Definitely.
And how is it like being an athlete in Israel?
Right now, it's very, very popular. I think every second person would say he's an athlete.
Okay.
But, there's a very big difference between an amateur, professional, competitor, non-competitor. I think many people take part in sports. But for me, as an athlete, since I'm 10 years old, I would say, I liked sports since I'm very young. And again, 15 years ago, it wasn't popular at all, especially for girls, and especially being brought up in a religious home. It wasn't very common for girls to take part in sports, nonetheless combat sport. So the way I got into it actually is through my mom, because she was volunteering in the police department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as a religious woman, okay, and she's wearing sleeves till here and a wig and skirts, because that's part of the religion, the dress code.
Okay.
And she was looking for some sort of self-defense for herself, being in the police department. And so she found Benny Kogan, which is my Muay Thai coach,
okay,
for over 15 years already. And so she started there, and she dragged me along with her.
And may I ask you, how old are you?
I'm 27 years old.
27. So you started training 15 years ago? Or even longer than that?
17.
17
in Muay
years.
Thai, yes.
Okay. And when did you...
I kind of jumped the gun here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You did way before the... Now, as a fighter, right? And coming from Israel is... How many UFC fighters do we have there from Israel? I don't think we have any, right?
Okay, so we had Noad Lahat. He was a
Okay.
UFC fighter. He had a contract.
Okay.
Now there's Natan Levy.
Okay.
Okay, 2 Israelis, male. And I'm gonna be the first woman
First
Israeli.
woman.
Yes.
So you plan to go to UFC?
Yes, that's the route. Correct.
Okay, that's perfect. How many fights you have as a kickboxer?
I would go with Muay Thai.
Muay Thai?
Yeah,
Shit.
I would consider myself a Muay Thai fighter, not a kickboxer.
Okay.
I have over 80, like close to 90 fights.
90 fights?
Yeah, that's actually nothing compared to many other fighters. Talking about 300 fights for an average Thai fighter.
Okay. And do you know what is your record?
Probably, I think about 12 losses or something like that.
Okay. So
So
out of the
everything-
90, you got
Yeah,
12 losses.
yeah, close to 80 wins, and like 13 knockouts, KO.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Have you ever been knocked out before?
thank God, no.
No. So what? So your plan is to go to UFC, right?
Yeah, so if we take a step back, I've been training Muay Thai since I'm 10, in addition to many other sports.
Uh-huh.
Right? I was playing flag football, American football. I was on the national Israeli team.
Okay.
Basketball, soccer, like people call it football, but it's soccer.
Soccer, yeah.
Ballet, baseball, anything I could get my hands on, So I was like kind of an all-rounded athlete, and that's, I think, really gave me an athleticism base for any sport that I would have wanted to choose and do.
Okay. How's your jiu-jitsu?
Getting there.
You getting there?
I'm getting
You
there,
training
learning
with
the fundamentals and the basics.
Okay. You're training with Barbosa?
Yes, with
Okay.
Barbosa and Mike Brown as well.
Mike Brown, yeah. Barbosa came here. He already came here like twice. He came here with Bigfoot, and then he came here by himself. And he's a very good coach. I used to train with him on American Top Team when I trained there. Now, if you could go back 17 years ago, would you change anything, or would you just do the same thing?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Nothing. I wouldn't change anything. I believe that, I told you my parents moved from America to Israel when I was 2. And if they were to stay in America, I'll tell you, I will not be where I am today as a 4-time world champion and 4-time European champion in Muay Thai. The steps, everything has its reasons, and everything is connected. It has a story, and it unfolds into a big story. And if you take one piece of the puzzle out throughout my life, everything would look different.
And how is it life for women in Israel? Because a lot of people from United States, even Brazil, because in Brazil we have a vision of Israel, right? Like women, they usually they are not like in Brazil, where women are more dedicated to their husbands, and they don't usually go for combat sports and stuff like that. Is it true, or is it just a myth?
Can you refine that?
Yeah, just like let's just say, women in Israel, right? They're more. Your religion is very prominent in your country, right? In Brazil, women do whatever the hell they want, and I think women in Israel, they respect much better. They focus more on relationships with their husbands, their families. They're more focused on their family, and they grow as a family. So they don't really focus. This is the vision they have. I'm not saying it's true, but they focus on family and not sports or huge careers and stuff like that. Is it true, or?
It's a big mix. Okay, you have to who you're talking to, like who you're gonna meet. In Israel, you can meet any one of those people that you just spoke about.
Yeah.
You have the women who are who come from a secular home, who come from a religious Orthodox home. If that's, by the way, that's how I grew up, in an Orthodox home. And so, yeah, they're gonna be the stay-at-home moms and not pursue any career, right? Not pursue them. I would even say themselves. And then you have the women who also are married, but they also have a job, and they go out and they pursue their job and themselves, and they want to grow for themselves. They want to have something that's independent from their husband and from their family as well. And then you have someone, maybe, I guess, like me, who isn't. I value family, and I hope to one day marry as well and have a family of my own. But right now, I'm kind of putting my career as number one priority.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But you're chasing your passion, pretty much.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I saw you training, and I can feel the passion in you, because this sport's not easy. People think, oh, you're just gonna go and train and I'll become a fighter. It's not easy. There's a big difference between training and fighting. Fighting is a whole different world. Have you ever been like in a fight where you got hurt so bad you wanted to give up and you didn't, and you won the fight?
Never did it ever cross my mind, do I want to give up? Right? You're in a challenging situation sometimes, right, where you have an opponent that could be at your level or even above your level, and you have to try and figure things out, just like chess, and what's going to be the best move for me to win that fight. And sometimes it's going to even bring you to a physical exhaustion. Never ever did I ever think, oh, I just want to
giving up, right?
About giving up. No, it's just continuing, and you kind of remember, like in training, that you've been through worse, or you've been through tougher times, and so you continue on.
Do you think training is harder than fighting, than the fight itself?
I 100% agree that training is much harder, because you're also in that position, in that situation, many more times, time after time after time, that you're like just in this physical exhaustion and mental as well. As time progresses, and you get even better, I think it gets even harder sometimes.
Oh yeah, especially Imagine you have a belt and you gotta defend that belt from other fighters, especially UFC fighters or Bellator MMA fighters. Imagine how hard it is, because for a guy to get there in that position to fight you, he already came from the bottom. Now he's there, so that means he's good, and then you gotta fight only the best. Imagine that. It's really tough. So when did you decide to come to United States and train an American Top Team? How was that process?
So I was actually here 2 years ago as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then the pandemic hit, and I was supposed to stay a bit longer, and so I had to go home earlier than than expected. I went home, and then I had some sort of injury spiral that kind of put, it was a setback for training and also competition in any sport. And then as time progressed, I also went through surgery. And the first competition that I had after my surgery was the World Games in Muay Thai. So I'm just kind of like giving you the story, the background before I started now again in American Top Team. And the World Games is like the Olympics, right? It happens every 4 years. And you have to be accepted into the World Games. You have to add points onto your name, I guess, throughout competitions. So the World Games was supposed to be last year, and because of COVID, it pushed off the Olympics. Because it pushed off the Olympics, it had to be pushed off as well one year, because I didn't want it to be at the same year as the Olympics. So it pushed off 1 year, which was actually a good thing for me, because it gave me that extra year to recover and come back and actually compete. Because if it happened last year, I wouldn't be able to, because of my recovery.
Okay.
So we knew it's going to be in America, in Birmingham, Alabama. So me and my coach, we planned that after the World Games, I'm going to stay in the States and come back to American Top Team. And that's where we are now. So 3 weeks ago, the competition ended, the World Games. By the way, I have the silver medal here, if you want to see it.
Yeah, sure. Show it to us.
So I had 3 fights. The first one was against Sweden. I fought her 4 years ago. and then against um, Great Britain, and then the United States, USA.
Oh, it's heavy.
Yeah, it's a nice medal. So you see, you have like many different sports there circled around.
Let me put that in the camera. I'll show you guys. This is her medal.
So I'm very proud of the accomplishment because, again, it was my first competition, first fight after 2 years of the pandemic and my surgery and my comeback. And, it just kind of like, it was like this big...
Where did you do your surgery? Was it? Did you get injured?
Yeah, I had an injury. Yeah.
What happened? Can you talk about that?
It was kind of like a few different traumas, in training. So it happened the first time where something kind of clicked or buckled, and then from there it was just like a big spiral of things until it was like the end, and I got to the doctor. I'm sitting at this table, and he's like, "Listen, you have to go through surgery if you want to still compete." And I'm like in tears, and not because of not because it was hurting, but because I was supposed to start like this new chapter in my life from the transition from Muay Thai into MMA, and then that kind of got stopped. It was on a hold, and I knew like also the consequences of surgery, so it was just like a big emotional bomb for me.
And as a fighter, right? Do you think why did you decide to go for MMA? What just popped in your head?
I think it was the time where Ronda Rousey was the pioneer of women's MMA. And okay, so you start following, you start looking into it, and it's like, okay, you know what, maybe one day. Looks cool, I don't know. I think it was mostly like through social media where you just kind of get exposed to different things. And as time went on, and I was fighting only in Muay Thai and in kickboxing. By the way, I fought Valentina Shevchenko back in 2015, her last competition, which was I was hoping, I lost to her, and so a year later I was hoping to meet her again, but she didn't show because she had a contract with the UFC. So from then that's where I kind of started to climb the ladder into becoming the world champion in Muay Thai under IFMA. And now, I guess I could say I'm looking for another challenge, looking for something new. Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see the energy that come from you. It's like a very forthgoing person, and it's like a person that if you want something, you're just gonna go get it.
Yeah.
And that this is actually what you need in fighting, because people think like I was talking to a guy yesterday. He's gonna come here. And we're talking about he said I want to record myself fighting, and when I go to the podcast I want to show it to you guys.
Analyze.
Yeah, he wants to show people what he can do, but at the same time he wants to be very humble about it.
Okay.
But he's a very, very skilled fighter. And I told him I mean, you can, but you gotta admit, because I can see in your energy, you're like, hey, this is me. I know how to fight. I can fight, and I can win. And I'm not joking, which is a good thing. Because I see that some people sit here, not here, I mean, sit at the gym where we're talking. They're like, oh, bro, I mean, if I'll do this, if it works out, maybe I'll fight for the belt. You have the energy of, I will get the belt. I will fight. I will do my thing. That's a very good thing. You take it very seriously, and that's very nice.
Yeah, that's my life. That was my dream since a kid, to be an athlete. Not to be. I wouldn't say, oh, I wanted to be a UFC fighter. It wasn't in our vision. It wasn't even 10, 15 years ago. It didn't exist. But I wanted to be an athlete, and so every decision, every thought that I had throughout my adolescent, that was towards that. The way I acted, the way I eat, the way I train. Sometimes I could come to training back in Israel, and I'm just like, people come and try and talk to me, and I'm approachable person. But like during training, I didn't come here to talk to you and to be your friend. Right, I came to like to execute during training. So so that's just who I am. This very that focused person.
Damn, I got goosebumps. Now, what would you recommend? I have other women. They're gonna be watching this, and what would you recommend to them as a fighter? Because they train and they want to become UFC fighters, and they want to grow in the business, and it's pretty much their passion. And they are in Brazil, so it's really hard to train in Brazil and get out of the country and come here, for example, because you gotta there's money. You gotta spend money if you want to train well. Diet, the gym. There's costs. It's a
Correct.
new life, right? What would you tell them about the fighting business? Would you recommend that to them, or what would you say to them?
If it's their dream, then there's a possibility, and
It's gonna they're pretty much gonna make sacrifices, right? Just
yeah. I used to call it sacrifices, though. It's not sacrifices, it's choices. Because if you choose to go out tonight and drink with your friends, I choose to go to sleep by 9:30 p.m. That's a choice. You choose that life, I choose this life. It's just a matter of choices. And again, I used to say, oh yeah, it was a sacrifice. I used to, I never went out with friends, and it was a big sacrifice. And again, those people, those friends, they chose one life, I chose another, and they will never take part in what I have or enjoy what I will accomplish.
did you isolate yourself from the?
I was I isolated myself a lot. It was a lot of the times me and my coach, Benny Kogan. Um, as much as I sacrificed as a fighter and as an athlete, he as well sacrificed as a coach. And I am who I am as an athlete, as a fighter, because of him, and because he gave back to me as a coach. We all need coaches. We all need someone to guide us through it. It's not just, I'm going to become a fighter and go out in the streets and fight whoever I can just to get into like some sort of organization. It doesn't work like that. You need someone to guide you and to look at the big picture from the outside. And again, I am who I am because of him. Many will criticize him for other things. Could be false, most of them, but I am who I am because of him.
So both of your parents, they like your lifestyle. They like what you're doing.
Again, as I grew up,
Yeah.
many of my close family would always say, "Oh, okay, come on, when are you going to find a real job?"
Oh
I
man,
never
that's
ever
terrible.
worked in a real job. And you wanted advice for those girls? Go clean houses. Go deliver newspapers. Go through that hardship that you need to go through to get where you want to get to. Because that's how I went through it. Right? I'd never asked my parents for money. And by the way, my parents also never pushed me into doing. Today many parents are pushing their kids into martial arts and are sitting on the benches and like yelling at them, yes, do this, do that, and they're being the coach. It's a big mistake, because it has to be from within. It has to be an intrinsic motivation. And once it's an extrinsic, it's external, it's a matter of time until the kid doesn't want it anymore, or until he finds another interest.
Yeah. Just like my son, I put my son on jiu-jitsu, and he
And that
trained
that
for
should
a
be it.
while. Yeah, I just let him do his thing. He didn't take it very seriously. My brother as well. He did jiu-jitsu. He didn't take it very seriously.
He shouldn't. How old is your kid?
He's 9 now.
Why should he?
I mean,
He needs to do jiu-jitsu, and he needs to go jump, and he needs
Yeah.
to go play this and play basketball, everything.
when he started training, he was 6 years old when he started training. He trained for a while at Gracie Bar, and my brother, he was even younger than that, and then he trained. He did judo, not jiu-jitsu. I'm sorry, and he trained a little, and then he didn't like it, but he likes soccer, so he plays soccer. And my son, he just maybe in the future, maybe in the future he'll show some interest. It'll make me happy, but it's not for everyone. Not everybody. Some people just want to train. Just want to train. Some people don't even care. And
And
some people want to be a fighter.
That's okay, because those people actually help the real fighters to evolve and become better. Sometimes you need those people, who they're not going to be the champion. They don't want it, or, maybe they tried and they weren't able to succeed. And it's okay, because those people are going to help the bigger ones succeed in the gym.
What do you mean?
The training partners. Not every training partner
has that mindset, right?
No, I'm saying not every two training partners. Oh, he's my training partner, so it makes, and let's say 2 UFC fighters. Not necessarily. It could be a UFC fighter, and one is like not even interested, but he helps him. He's there and helping him, just being that partner.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And right now, do you have any fights coming up right now? Very soon.
We're hoping maybe November. I don't know. Right now, there's no information.
But you train every day, like if we're gonna fight tomorrow, right?
Right. I'm also in learning mode, so.
How's your diet?
I'm pretty much always.
Very strict.
Pretty strict. Not strict, but like. I mean, I eat clean, I don't eat junk I would say too often. If I'm going with friends or family, so I'm very aware of it. But I would choose, like a healthy snack, let's say an apple or nuts or whatever it is, something like that, over chocolate, over ice cream. I'm very aware of it.
You stay away from sugar?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. I love sugar.
Yeah.
I don't care for salt, but I love sugar.
No, salt. You need salt if you're training and you're sweating. You need the salt.
Yeah, but the hardest part of the diet, for me and my buddy in Brazil, is the sugar part. Because when you change,
everything is sugar there.
I cut like 100%. Done. No more sugar.
Right.
Done. So my body is. I was training yesterday, and with Adric.
And you had like hypoglycemic.
I feel weaker. I feel weak, and I feel starving all the time.
How long ago did you stop?
4 days ago.
Oh, there you go. It's just like like stopping to smoke. You get a headache, and your body is craving it all the time.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Because I used to drink about like 4 Red Bull cans a day.
Wow.
Monster
and the caffeine
drinks.
too.
So I was addicted to it. That's
right.
So it was like I want sugar. I like that. When I go to sometimes I go to the gas station, fill up my gas, and then I see the beautiful cold can of Monster right there sitting, and they're looking at me like doing this. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'll buy it. Whatever. I'll buy it. And then when I drink it, I take like 2 sips, and I'm like, why am I drinking this? It doesn't even taste that good, but I want it. So it's an addiction. You don't even
100%.
notice that. So I
eliminated it.
100%. And
right.
I did something in the past, and you might even agree with it. Every time I wanted to buy a Monster, I would take the money and put it on my savings account. And junk food as well. I want to go to Dunkin' Donuts. Let me just put the money in the savings account. Want to know how much I saved in a month? $460.
Wow.
Of junk food.
Wow.
Imagine putting that money towards healthy food like chicken, brown rice, and this is it's a tiny sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice. $460. It's good money.
There's no reason why why you can't have I don't know, chocolate or ice cream when you're aware of it. But when you have that Monster every single day, 4 times a day, there's a big problem there. Yeah. You're not aware of it. People think that they're eating healthy, or they're eating all these healthy, non-sugared snacks because it says fitness on it. Are you looking at the ingredients? What's the first ingredient? What's the second ingredient?
When you take you take protein shakes and stuff like that, or
sometimes,
right? Do you think does it make a big difference on a diet of taking whey protein shakes?
I think you need the protein shake if you're not getting enough sufficient protein externally. Beyond that, are you eating your eggs and your chicken and your fish, and where's all that? This morning I had a conversation with a family member. He's I think 11 years old or 12 years old, and he was eating breakfast. I think he ate eggs. and he's looking at the proteins that they have there in their pantry. Oh, I need a protein shake. I was like, why do you need a protein shake? Because it builds muscle. I was like, yeah, but if you eat enough chicken and fish and eggs like you're eating now, you don't need a protein shake. Yeah, but I saw on TikTok. I was like, okay, that's the source. Where is your information coming from? Because you saw it on TikTok, whatever.
Or YouTube is,
Yeah.
Anybody can go on YouTube right now and record a video.
Right, exactly. So you have to, it's education. And when the kids, if they're used to getting up and having a bowl of cereal, which is packed with sugar, that's the only thing they're going to crave all day. And as they get older, that's what they're going to be craving as well.
So sugar creates an addiction, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, I'm a junkie.
Sugar, it works on the pathway of dopamine in your brain. Dopamine is there's two pathways.
It's like a
actually.
pleasure hormone, right?
Right. There's a pleasure and there's also the addictive. There's two different pathways. So it works on that pathway, both of them.
So for a guy going through the process of changing the diet habits, do you think it'll be better for him to cut it like 100%, like what I did, or you think it'll be better for him to slow down a little bit instead of putting 2 scoops of sugar, put 1?
I think it really depends on the person. I remember when I was about 15, I did the same thing. I literally decided, okay, I took myself in my hands. If I want to be a real athlete, I have to eat like an athlete. And so I started, reading and doing all the preparations for food. And I cut completely all the sugar, all the snacks, everything out of my diet. And I went like extreme. You know how people go like to the extreme? I went to the extreme. So it really depends on the person. If he thinks that he could just, snap out of it like that, and within 4 days he's gonna react just like you did, right?
Uh-huh.
Be a little sluggish, feel that hunger, but like still be composed and continue with it. Okay, but if you feel like you need to gradually do it and that's what's gonna keep you, so do it gradually.
Yeah. Yesterday because I'm training longer hours. Instead of training like an hour, I'm doing 2 classes a day. So I train like 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. And it's just yesterday it was like the breaking point. I was like at the end of we did jiu-jitsu, and then we did the Muay Thai class with sparring matches. I was dead, I couldn't even throw a punch anymore properly. I was throwing punches, but I was like, my punches weren't, it was sloppy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't, I'm tired. I feel weak. And there's a guy, he's a bodybuilder, and he told me, he said,
He asked you if you ate.
Did you take any sugar? Did you eat well? I was like, I ate well, ate chicken,
But
healthy
your body
stuff.
was still adapting itself.
But yeah, he said, don't worry about it. It'll pass. It'll adjust.
I'll give you another example. When I was cutting weight towards this competition, towards the World Games, I had a few kilo to get down to. And we started with intermediate fasting. Okay, so that's 16 hours. Well, it's ultimately 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating. But I build up to it. I started with 12, then 13, then 14, and so on. And when I started that, I'm used to getting up and eating something in the morning. But as the fast went on, I had to stop that. And I was feeling that hunger, lethargic, no energy. And why is that? Because my body was releasing hormones of hunger. It was used to those hours of eating. But after 2-3 days, it understood, oh, we're not getting food now. We're going to get it in a few hours. And so that prolonged it, and the hunger was stopped at those hours in the morning.
So do you think there's the fasting, right? Do you think it helps, or it depends on the person?
It definitely helped me for what I needed to do it, but long term, do you necessarily need it? We eat to perform. As athletes, we eat to perform. So it really depends on your goals. I think long term, if you're doing it, make it fit into your schedule, right?
Okay.
Like, why do you need to suffer in that way? if you have a family and the family eats in the morning breakfast, and then you're starting this the intermittent fasting, so you're not going to start till later, and you feel like that is going to hurt your relationship with your family, make it work into the schedule.
Okay.
But it definitely depends on your goals.
Do you do fasting before training, like waking up in the morning?
Right now, I'm not doing that.
You're not doing
I'm
that,
not
right?
doing that. Again, I wake up in the morning. If I have training at 11, I'm not going to not eat. I have to eat in the morning to have energy for an hour and a half, close to 2 hours in the morning training. There's no way. I'm going to injure myself. I'm not going to have any energy.
How many hours do you train a day?
Goes to 4 or 5 hours.
And you train every day, or you have a day that you just
Sunday
relax?
is off.
You don't do anything
ATT,
of
yeah.
sports, right? You take a time for yourself as well.
Yeah, you
right?
really need to
it.
recover. You feel it. You kind of get to the end of the week, that peak of like, oh my gosh, I just need that recovery time.
And have you ever been injured in a way that not besides the surgery thing? Have you ever been injured in a way that affected you for forever?
Except for that, no.
Like it's
Sprains and like ligaments. Sometimes small tears in the ligaments. Not ligaments.
tendons.
It takes a few weeks, month, but you can still train. But there's you don't, not too intense. So over the years, there was always something up. There was always something.
Now, conditioning your legs for the kicks, how was the process for you? How did you do it?
Oh, I wish I could show you.
It hurts
It wasn't that it hurts, but I was so hesitant. I show you a video through my PT at physical therapy. He says, he told me, okay, now kick. He was holding a ball. And I looked at him. I was like, like a newbie, like someone who never heard of that before. I was just so hesitant, so protective over my leg and, everything. So it was a long process to unravel that fear in my mind as well.
When Anderson Silva broke his leg, right? Do you think that was because of overtraining? Or what do you think that happened?
So many different opinions, and you can speculate about many different things. Overtraining, he probably maybe injured it beforehand. Again, overtraining, and in the fight, a small little hit caused that. Look at Conor McGregor, for instance. He said as well that during training camp he had problems with his ankle or his leg beforehand. So it didn't just appear from nowhere.
Yeah, I think Conor McGregor, when he broke his leg, I didn't see it. When he got hit,
I saw it was nasty.
he fell,
yeah.
and I'm like, wow, what the hell? Because it wasn't that bad, but he got really messed up, and then I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe he's weaker now. And then when he showed it to the referee, my leg is broken, and then I saw it, I'm like, oh, that explains a lot.
What explains what?
Explains why he got, because when he kept on there. He was there. The guy was hitting him. Hitting, and he fell on the side. He wasn't fighting, but he wasn't doing anything. So that it pretty much broke him because he had a lot of pain. Imagine breaking your leg. And when the referee came and separated them, I don't think the referee saw it as well.
Yeah.
I think he came, stopped the fight, and then Conor showed him because Conor
was calling him. I remember that.
Yeah,
right.
He kept his cool. He wasn't like screaming, rolling on the floor. He was, with pain, holding his leg. You can tell the expression on his face.
Because of all the adrenaline in your body as well, you don't really feel that pain.
Yeah.
I'm sure he felt it.
Because Anderson Silva, when he broke his leg, he cried on the cage. He broke down as a man. Because, imagine that. That's one of my biggest, I kick a lot. So it's one of my biggest fears, breaking my leg. And I think that every time we step in the cage or in the ring or stuff like that, it's a very high chance this will happen, especially you, because when you're a kickboxer, you kick a lot, you punch a lot, you can break your hand, you can break your leg, you can break your foot. You can imagine kicking the guy, the guy blocks with the elbow, and you break your leg in there.
These are all chances that you're taking.
Yeah,
so
and it's worth it, right?
At the end of the day, yeah.
It's worth it. If there was no fighting sports in the world, right? What other sports would you do? I know you said soccer before, but
No, if you, there's no fighting,
yeah, there was no fight in the world, right?
I probably
Just
would have said like a flag football, like a football player.
okay. You're good at it, or you just do it for fun?
I mean, I grew up on that sport as well, and
So probably
when I
you probably
was.
kick my ass on it.
But if I wasn't an athlete, I would probably be a garbage man.
Really?
Yeah, I always saw these people, behind the truck collecting all the garbage. I was like, that looks so fun, hanging on and just kind of cruising around.
It's probably yeah, it is fun.
So that I always said I wanted to do that.
Now, you want to have kids in the future?
Yes.
If you have kids, would you carry your son to this path as well? Fighting?
I'd give them all the options. I would put them in sports, put them in music. Mostly, yeah, sport and music. That's the most important, because you develop there a lot of the skills, physical skills, social skills as well, and you develop and self growth as well. So, in school, how much do you really learn about yourself?
I mean, my story is a little complicated, but
What do you mean?
I used to be in a lot of fights in school.
Okay.
A lot of fights. So
Now imagine you were in martial arts.
I think I'm much calmer now. Very relaxed. I don't get in fights.
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard about the jiu-jitsu guy
That just,
got murdered.
yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing happened to me. I was at a club. And this guy came. He tried to pick up a fight with me.
Mhm.
He was a weirdo, but he was a big guy. So there's three things that could happen, right? I can just call the security guard, look like a bitch, and have him escorted out because the security guard was my friend. I could. The security guard trains at the gym I train at. I could just hit him and beat him up and go to jail, or he could beat me and put me in the wheelchair. Cause I don't know. You never know. Maybe the other guy has a gun, a knife. Maybe he's more skilled than you. Maybe he's a jiu-jitsu black belt.
This was in Brazil?
This was here.
Oh.
If it was in Brazil, it's much worse. Cause in Brazil, to be honest, police they don't really care.
Yeah.
For fight in the streets, okay, go to the police station, do a report. That's what they did to me in Brazil. They don't care. So I understand what he did because the guy was provoking him. But what would you do in that situation? Would you have done the same? Would you have
Walked away.
walked away, right?
I would have to evaluate the situation a bit more, but many people think, oh, you're a martial artist? Just don't touch me. Like, why? Why? Did I do anything? Like, a tennis player, would you say, oh, just don't hit me with the racket? Right?
Yeah.
People think that as martial artists, we're violent people. I think the contrary. The people who take part in martial arts, they are the most calm people and the most not violent. We're gonna walk away from a situation like that because we're aware of the damage that can be done, and we don't want that.
So the death of Leandro, you think
I
it
don't
could
know
have
the
been
story.
avoided?
I don't know the story there.
The story is pretty much a guy came to his table,
Yeah.
start picking up a fight with him, and then he grabbed a bottle from the table. He got up, grabbed a bottle from the dude's hand, and the guy was provoking him a lot. That's what the witnesses said. And then he tackled the guy and he put the guy on a submission on jiu-jitsu. Because Leandro,
He's
I don't think there's a way that
an IBJJF champion.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's simply no way for the other guy to win. And he let the guy go, the guy got up and pulled a gun and shot him in the head.
Wow.
That was pretty much it. So they're saying he submitted the guy so the guy would calm down, but the guy didn't. He pulled a gun, shot him in the head, and
Of course, his ego was hurt.
of course, and he kicked him twice when he was on the floor. So he kicked him. So there was a lot of hate in there. He was angered, especially when you get submitted in front of everybody at a show in Brazil, and the guy was a police officer. So he was off duty,
You're kidding.
Yeah, he was drinking alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy was a mess, and he shot him cold-blooded, and he died. So I stay away from fights, especially in traffic when you're driving. Even especially here in the United States, pretty much everybody has a gun. Most people have guns here, and imagine you get in a fight. You're gonna pick up a fight with someone. You fight someone. The guy probably he's not a. They're not gonna be. Not everybody trains. You're probably gonna kick their ass, and then they're gonna pull a gun and shoot you, and then you lost your life, your career, everything, your family because of what? A temporary fight. If you walked away, I'm not saying I don't know. We don't know what actually happened there, like every single tiny detail. But if it happened, let's just say he walked away. 2 days later, he wouldn't even remember that.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Have you ever been in a fight before?
No.
Never?
Many people ask me that. No.
You never been provoked?
Nope.
Nobody messes with you, huh?
No. I have that sense of the body language. You know, also when you walk in the street.
Yeah.
How do you walk? Do you walk closed up? Do you walk chest open?
Yeah.
You know, how do you walk? So I walk around with high confidence and
Posture, right?
Yeah, your posture.
So that situation, you think it could have been avoided?
Maybe.
The way I told you what happened, you think it could have just walked away and.
Who knows? What if he was trying to provoke him and he looked at him and he just kind of walks away and like, hey, I'm talking to you, and pulls out a gun. So many different situations that could have been.
And I see people are talking about that all over the news and all over internet. There's no way to bring him back. But what kind of punishment do you think that guy deserves? The guy that shot him.
There's only two options: death penalty or life.
Do you agree with that? The death
100%.
penalty? Yeah, I think
100%.
You take a life, they take yours. I think it. People say, "Oh, we can't take a life," but why would you have a guy like this walking around? I'm not saying he deserves to die, but I'm saying he dig his own grave by doing that. It was very cold blooded. You have ever met him before, Leandro?
No, but I have some friends from Israel who train in BJJ, and they met and trained with him.
Okay.
I saw, so I saw it on Instagram. A lot of them posting and sharing their love towards him. So I guess he was a very loved person.
Yeah,
an athlete.
He was. And at America Top Team, when you have you ever seen train in person with Joanna Chachak?
When I was there 2 years ago, I saw her preparing for her fight or training there.
You never trained with her?
No.
There's something about you girls. You kind of similar.
I mean, we both come from Muay Thai.
Yeah.
She also made that transition from Muay Thai. What else is similar?
The energy is pretty much similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're taller than her, right?
No, I'm not taller. No way.
Really?
I don't think so.
Okay. And how much do you weigh right now?
63. That's 137.
137. And what is your weight class?
I would say if there was 130, but maybe 135, 125. I'm not so sure yet.
You're not far up.
Yeah, it really depends on the opponent, and again, if I'm starting, I have at least a few professional fights I need to do.
If you go to MMA, you want to change the weight class, or you want to keep around the same?
No, 125 is
125.
Yeah, I'm not going down. No way.
Yeah, well, people cutting weight like 15 pounds, 10 pounds. You think that's too much?
Too much. At least for me, that's not. I'm looking where.
Yeah, you don't look small.
Yeah.
You look tough. You look like you can fight.
Yeah.
You train with guys and you spar with guys?
All my life, I trained with the guys. Now at the gym, there's many more girls, also top level. So most of the girls, and it just so happens if I find a guy that's like semi my size, I'll roll with him. But other than that, if he's much bigger, there's no way. With all my injuries and stuff like that, I'm not taking any chance.
Do you think it helps you better training with the male opponents?
Yes, for sure, because their strength is much different. At growing up, I was training with the guys, and once I hit the ring with the girl, the power is different. I'm used to much more.
So you do not agree with the people saying they want to see men fighting women in MMA. You don't agree with that?
I disagree with that. That should not be.
100%. It should not be, right? Well, have you ever seen the transgender athlete? I
That
forgot his name.
many years ago, yeah, I read about it. Yeah, yeah.
From the swimming team, and he beat all the girls. He
Oh,
was
okay, not in martial arts, but
yeah,
yes.
no, not in martial arts. And
Maybe that's acceptable. Maybe because it's not a contact sport. Once it's a contact sport, the male has an advantage. You know, you have more testosterone. It's just a proven thing. There's nothing you can do about it. You're a male. And so when you have that ability, you can actually cause damage, real irreversible damage to another person.
there's no way to win.
Yeah.
See, when I tell you guys that women should not fight men in the cage or in the ring, there's people still say that. They still say it's possible. A girl can beat a guy if she trains hard enough. I don't know, man.
Yeah, maybe she could,
Maybe.
but then she'll get
But-
brain damage as well. She could get brain damage from a female. So
10,
imagine
10
a
out
male.
of, I would say 9 out of 10 fights, she will probably have a chance.
You don't see a woman, a transgender woman, going and fighting a male. Why not? Because she knows that a male is stronger.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was a woman, I would never do that. But what kind of sports do you think it would be possible for a female to compete with the men, like soccer, basketball?
That's also contact sport.
Okay, so in swimming,
I think
think
swimming.
it's
Should be-
possible.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know, man. The dude beat everyone up in the swimming. Have you ever heard about it? The guy on the swimming team.
No.
He wasn't even the best on his side. He was on the male team, and he was like just an average Joe. When he went to the female division,
He became a superstar.
Yeah.
So it's funny that they allowed that because then there was a female runner, I don't remember her name, that they asked her to take more estrogen, the female hormone, to reduce her natural testosterone because it wasn't fair. How could you do that? How can you have a male compete with the girls, but then ask a girl, who has natural testosterone levels to reduce that?
how do you think you can stop that? Do you think if every female in the division would just say, "Hey,"
It could be, but it's up to also the IOC. I don't know how
the organization?
the organization. Yeah, you have to but the athletes have to protest about this.
Do you think if all of them just say, "Hey, we're not competing"?
Maybe
unless
it'll make a
he
difference
leaves?
for sure.
Yeah, because they can't punish every single.
There's no
athlete.
competition with no athletes.
There you go. So there's a way to finish that. On social media, I posted something about that. I said, look, if women decide to compete with men, I mean, they're gonna lose. They deserve that because you're competing with the dude is huge. You want to stop that? Nobody competes, and it's over.
Right.
Like, oh, you're a misogynist. I'm not. I'm just saying the truth. It's facts. You can't. They can't stop it. If everybody stops, it's done. There's no competition. I remember Ronda Rousey was saying she could beat Floyd Mayweather in boxing, and I found people that actually believe that she could beat him in boxing, and
It's just a way to make money, get the hype up.
yeah. Would you do that? Would you get your hype up like that?
I don't think that's
How
not me.
beat Jones up?
It's not my personality. No,
How is
probably
your?
not.
What kind of fighter do you think you are? Like an aggressive fighter?
I'm a mix. I could be anything I need to be at the moment.
How would you deal with a very aggressive opponent? Would you slow him down, or would you be more aggressive?
Confusion. That's the key.
Confusion, like what? Do you just
Mentally overwhelm them, like
Oh, okay.
in the cage. I can't expose all my secrets.
So if I wanna beat you, how do I do it? No, I understand. I know how it is, and I like the strategy I use when I fight someone that is very aggressive, very yesterday, I have a. He scratched me here. He had long nails. He scratched me all the way here. I'll show you later. But he was so aggressive and quick. He tried to get my submit me using the leg lock like 4 times. He tried that. He failed.
just making it very
Yeah,
very
he's
rigid.
very aggressive. So I slowed him down a little bit. I tried to slow him down as much as I could, and
It worked?
It worked. It usually works. Like if I try this like 8 out of 10 times, it will work. I slow him down. But what helps is I'm a big guy, so it helps. But there was the bodybuilder I told you about. We're doing jiu-jitsu 2 days ago, and he's very strong, and he is like aggressive. He doesn't have much experience in jiu-jitsu, so he goes for submission all the time. But he weighs 225 pounds,
Oh my gosh.
and I right now weigh like 198, I believe. I'm lowering my weight class, so it was so hard. I couldn't do much. He didn't choke me out, nothing. I was just doing the match, but it works. But with him, there's not much I could do because he's so big. And when you train with the guys, you do your training session, and then you go spar with the girls. Do you feel the difference?
Here, not really.
The guys go slower with you. They like, all right, she's a girl. We're not gonna punch her with 100% force.
Maybe a little bit of that.
They kind of slowed down with the
But with the
females at
girls,
the gym.
when you're going female and female, like sparring
Yeah.
all out, it could get rough. I think worse than the guys.
Really?
Yeah.
It gets personal, you think? Or?
Not personal, but like a little bit more of that ego. Yeah, it's there for sure. Yeah.
Every fighter has an ego.
Yeah.
You're competing. Competition is ego. You're fighting and you want to be the best. It's just you. It's not a team.
Right.
So of course there's an ego.
I think also there it's like, ooh, you look at someone like, oh, she could be my next opponent. It's, hypothetically speaking.
It could be.
Could be. So
It
like
could
you
be.
kind of like always have that distance and.
Yeah. I was telling. Had another podcast. We are talking about ego, and I was telling the guy. I said, look, whenever you look yourself in the mirror, you need your ego, and when you look yourself in the mirror, you're like, damn, I can fight. I'm good. I'm a great fighter. Like when you came here and you said, look, I know how to fight. I can fight. You have the energy of I will get the belt. I will join. I will become a UFC fighter. That is your ego speaking, which is a good thing because you believe in yourself. You believe you're able to do it. And if a guy shows up and, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll win. I don't know. He's done. He's not going to survive in the sport.
It depends who you're. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you can't have too much ego. Like, I lost a fight. I didn't lose a fight. I never lost. No. The referee's fault. That means your ego is hurt. And your ego is so big, you can't even see the truth. What's his name? Chael Sonnen. I think he was just doing that to sell a fight. But Chael Sonnen, when he lost to Anderson Silva, he refused to believe. He never said he lost. He said, no, I didn't lose. I won the fight. He got me in the last second. If you watch the fight, I beat him all the way to the end. On the first one,
And
the first
then
time
you
they
lost.
fought, he got caught on a I think it was a triangle. He got caught on a triangle. He lost the fight. I mean, he got pissed off because Chael Sonnen has a huge ego, just like Conor. Conor, huge. All right, well, gentlemen, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We're gonna be doing a promo code special. And I'm going to let her choose. You're going to choose a promo code. So everybody that goes to the TAURIan MMA website, if they want to buy anything from there, they're going to get 15% off. And usually I put a name as a promo code or something. I'm going to let you choose a word as a promo code. Which one would you choose?
Fire.
Fire? Oh, my goodness. I like that. Fire. All right. Go to the website, taurianmma.com, and you type fire. And then you're going to get your 15% off on every boxing glove, MMA gloves, or shin guards. All right? You have any messages for the new athletes coming up in this beautiful fighting sports world?
Like I said, go deliver papers. That's my advice.
I want you to look at this camera right here and give them a message. Say whatever you want to them.
It's a tough sport, business. If you really, truly want to be in it, then go deliver papers.
Ooh. Go work hard, right?
Yeah, that's...
Go
that's
clean
pretty
houses.
much- Yep, go clean houses.
My house needs cleaning. Wash cars and stuff.
Exactly.
Just do what I did, man. Construction. That's the way to go. So everybody, thank you so much. Nili.
Nili.
Not Nyla.
Yeah.
No, okay. Nili, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I like your energy. I think you can beat me. I'm pretty sure. And guys, subscribe to the channel. Like the video, subscribe, or go to the Instagram. Follow Taurian. Taurian MMA. It's like Taurian Podcast, Taurian MMA. I get confused sometimes. And yeah, so thank you everybody for watching. And Shield, I want to bring you back. And I want to bring you. There's another girl coming. I want to bring you and her. It's
Who?
going to be fun.
Who is it?
The jiu-jitsu girl I told you about.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay.
You guys train together.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna say her name yet, but she's coming with you guys, and it's gonna be a good contrast because you're a striker. She's a jiu-jitsu fighter. It's gonna be fun. So guys, thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys soon. And yeah, I'll see you next Monday. Us. Say us.
Sawadee
Some what?
I said in Thai, Sawadee Kap.
Somebody cup.
Sawadee Kap.
Sawadee cup. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you say bye in your language?
Shalom.
Shalom?
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Thank you so much.